In The Penguin Season 1, Episode 3, the layers of Gotham's dark, volatile criminal world become more intricate as Oz and Victor navigate their respective paths, both tied to ambition, survival, and deeply personal motivations. The episode masterfully balances the raw emotional weight of Victor's internal conflict with Oz's relentless climb to power, creating a tension that feels ever closer to boiling over.
If I ever saw anything, I would never say anything. He's gonna kill me.
Victor's character arc in this episode is central to understanding the human toll of living in Gotham's brutal criminal underworld. His trauma is not just a plot point, but an essential part of his character's foundation. The flashbacks to the seawall explosion do more than just explain his motivations. They reveal the psychological scars that continue to haunt him. The flashbacks are more than mere memories. They are emotional triggers that dictate his every action. When the explosion is replayed in his mind, it's not just a recollection of events, but a visceral experience of loss and pain. This serves to highlight Victor's emotional vulnerability in a world where weakness is often exploited. His relationship with his family, particularly his father, is another key point of emotional complexity. The father's rejection of Victor's life choices represents a greater theme of familial estrangement. Victor has chosen a path that alienates him from those he loves. The father-son dynamic is especially poignant, reflecting how Gotham corrupts everything it touches, including the most intimate family bonds. The disappointment in his father's eyes mirrors the disillusionment Victor feels within himself, making his choice to align with Oz both a necessity for survival and a compromise of his deeper values. Graciella's presence introduces the possibility of redemption or escape for Victor, but even that is marred by the weight of guilt and past trauma. His attempt to connect with her, while noble, is undercut by the ever-present specter of Oz and the criminal world he cannot fully leave behind. In his heart, Victor yearns for the life Graciella represents, one free from crime, but his loyalty to Oz is more than just transactional. It's driven by a deep-seated need for protection, validation, and perhaps even a twisted sense of belonging. Graciella's disapproval echoes his father's earlier rejection, leaving Victor stranded between two worlds. On one side, there's a promise of a clean break, a normal life with Graciella. On the other, there's the grim reality that he may never be able to escape the criminal underworld and Oz's influence.
Depending on which way you want to play it. I mean, we could all get rid of Luca together, right?
That's right.
Think about it. I get rich, Sophia gets a family. You get to fuck Tina's brains out on a beach with white sand somewhere.
Sounds pretty good.
Done it?
On the other hand, Oz's journey in this episode is marked by his unrelenting drive to consolidate power in Gotham's criminal ecosystem. While previous episodes have shown his brute force and street smarts, Episode 3 gives us a clearer view of his political savvy. Oz is not just a thug. He's a calculating strategist who understands the importance of alliances, leverage, and influence. His dealings with the Triad, particularly with Link, Tsai, and Feng Zhao, reveal how Oz navigates the dangerous landscape of Gotham's criminal politics. He is not reckless in his approach, but rather methodical, understanding that to control Gotham's underworld, he must first win over or neutralize key players. The introduction of Bliss, the highly addictive drug, serves as both a metaphor and a plot device. Bliss represents Oz's vision for Gotham's future under his rule, a city numbed by pleasure and controlled through addiction. The drug, tested on Arkham inmates, highlights Oz's willingness to use Gotham's most vulnerable populations as pawns in his larger game. This act also underscores the moral bankruptcy that Oz is willing to embrace to achieve his ends. Bliss becomes a tool of domination, as it gives Oz control over not just the streets, but the minds and bodies of Gotham's people. Oz's interactions with the Triad showcase his ability to exploit every angle, from his knowledge of Johnny Viti's affair with Luca Falcone's wife to his manipulation of underworld power dynamics. His deal-making with the Triad shows that he's no longer just a player in Gotham's crime scene, but an emerging kingpin, carefully orchestrating his rise to the top. However, the strained nature of his relationship with Link Tsai signals that Oz's rise will not be without resistance. Tsai's hesitance and distrust reflect a broader theme of how fragile alliances in Gotham can be. The Triad represents both an opportunity and a threat to Oz's ambitions. Should they choose to betray him or abandon the partnership, Oz's entire strategy could fail.
I gave you clothes, money, a place to crash. You got all the opportunity in the world right fucking here. For Christ's sake. But this is all you feel.
The central tension of the episode is the deteriorating relationship between Oz and Victor. From the beginning, Victor's internal conflict between loyalty to Oz and his desire for freedom is palpable. Victor's panic attack in the nightclub, triggered by the flashing lights and his unresolved PTSD, is a crucial moment. It illustrates the extent to which his psyche has been shattered by the events of the seawall explosion and the constant stress of living in Gotham's underworld. Victor's mind is a battlefield, and he is clearly on the losing side. The confrontation between Oz and Victor, whereas accuses Victor of ungratefulness and even pulls a gun on him, is charged with tension. It's not just a matter of loyalty. This scene is a microcosm of their entire relationship. Oz sees Victor as an asset, someone he can control and use, but also someone he relies on. By pulling a gun on him, Oz reinforces his dominance, yet the offer to let Victor leave shows a deeper manipulation. Oz knows Victor has no real choice but to stay. In this way, Oz ensures that Victor remains tethered to him by both fear and dependence. This moment is also a turning point for Victor, as it crystallizes his internal conflict. Victor is caught in a moral dilemma: leave and pursue a life with Graciela, or stay and continue down a path that may ultimately destroy him. Oz's manipulation of Victor, coupled with Victor's own sense of loyalty and guilt, creates a bond that is almost impossible to break. Even though Victor dreams of freedom, he knows deep down that his fate is tied to Oz's.
I knew you'd come back. I fucking knew it. The sun fucking pulled. That was incredible, kid. Jesus, we're in it now, Vic. We're in it now.
The nightclub ambush orchestrated by Nadia Maroney's crew is the episode's explosive climax, and it serves to upend the delicate balance of power that Oz has been building. Nadia's crew's discovery of Oz's double dealings against the Falcone family has dire consequences for both Oz and Sophia. In a thrilling turn of events, Victor, despite his panic attack and growing hesitation, comes back to save Oz, crashing his car into Maroney's men. This act reaffirms that Victor, despite his emotional turmoil, is still bound by a sense of loyalty to Oz, whether out of fear, gratitude, or something more complicated. Oz's decision to leave Sophia behind during the ambush is another significant moment, one that could have far-reaching consequences for their alliance. Up until now, Sophia has been a key partner in Oz's plans to take over Gotham's criminal empire, but by abandoning her in a moment of crisis, Oz signals that he is willing to sacrifice anyone, even his closest allies, if it means ensuring his own survival. This act of betrayal is likely to set the stage for future conflict between Oz and Sophia, who may now see Oz as not only an untrustworthy ally but also a direct threat to her own plans for revenge against the Falcone family. Episode 3 of The Penguin is a masterclass in tension, character development, and the complexities of power dynamics in Gotham. Victor's emotional and psychological struggles provide a humanizing counterbalance to Oz's cold, calculated ambition. The episode's climactic ambush and its fallout set the stage for a power struggle that will have lasting ramifications for the rest of the season. Oz's rise to power is not without cost, and as he alienates allies like Sophia and manipulates those close to him like Victor, he risks becoming more isolated and vulnerable, even as his influence grows. The central themes of loyalty, betrayal, and survival are deeply interwoven throughout the episode, with every decision and action carrying significant weight. For Victor, the question remains: can he ever truly escape the criminal life he has chosen, or is he doomed to be forever tied to Oz's ambitions? And for Oz, the question is how far he is willing to go, and how many people he is willing to sacrifice to achieve his ultimate goal of ruling Gotham's criminal underworld. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.